And it's because you guys don't know what it's like to be deployed. You don't know. The only reason I ever even talked about all the shit I've done in my military career was because you need to prove yourself to a lot of these motherfuckers. Otherwise, they're just going to keep trying to discredit you as if you've done nothing with your fucking life or your service. But I'll be damned if I'll ever bend the knee and say that a garrisoned motherfucking veteran is the same as a combat veteran. If your feelings are fucking hurt and you've never deployed, yo, I'm talking to you. You are not what I consider an actual fucking veteran.
Yeah, I got kicked out of the military.
There's been a lot of controversy that's going on social media right now of people talking about who deserves to be considered a veteran and who's legitimate, who isn't. We're going to decipher all this a little bit and show you kind of what's been going on, because there is a huge division of mindsets that are happening as the military changes towards a more naval service. We'll talk about that right here. But the first one is from somebody that seems to be infantry, and they say this.
Because a lot of the people complaining don't even have patches, never been deployed. The ones that are really overweight are the ones that have never been deployed. And it's because you guys don't know what it's like to be deployed. You don't know how bad it really does matter to be physically fucking fit. Mentally, you have to be strong in the military. It's not just being mentally strong to deal with the military personnel and your leadership. It's mentally being strong to deal with the fact you might go to the field for 30 days. You might go to the field for 2 weeks. You may not see your family. You may not be able to talk to your kids. Mentally, you got to be fucking strong in that aspect. But then physically, you must be strong, because when you go to war, like when I was in Afghanistan, yo, your body gives out on you and you can't fucking keep up. Yeah, there could be some serious fucking problems for you overseas. You get what I'm saying, y'all? Like, if you're not physically fit, we go to war, you could be fucking left. And if you aren't left, yo, you will be court-martialed as soon as you get back.
Besides the egregious facial hair, which is somehow the weirdest thing I've ever seen, I do want to say it is interesting because, yes, you need to be fit in order to tactfully navigate, do patrols, do things that are physically demanding from the service. If you're an infantry role, if you're doing any of that stuff, it is understood, which is why soldiers go to Fort Benning, which is why we're talking about having increased standards for fighting roles specifically, which I would also argue that like anybody should be ready for a fighting role. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm brainwashed by the Marine Corps, but some of the comments kind of pick at him in his whole idea of this. For example, The Flat Earth says bro's personality is military, and then someone around here says it's a roll of dice for deployment, usually not the soldier's fault. Now, this person goes on further to say that there is a differentiation between military veterans that are garrison people and people that have actually deployed, and thinks there should be a deciphering factor, and that leadership such as the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, should be focused on these issues.
Ones that have deployed and went to combat and went to war, you guys have to fucking understand that I know a lot of combat veterans who are still fighting to this day to even get over 50% disability. But then I come on TikTok, and because I'm a veteran, because my name has it in it, I see a lot of military veteran type of videos. And I see motherfuckers bragging about their service connection disabilities. And I have to sit back and think, is this really fucking fair? That a motherfucker who sat in garrison their whole time, regardless of what the fuck you guys think or say, do they actually deserve 100% compared to this combat vet who's sitting here fucking busting his ass to try to get it and can't? No, it's not fucking fair. So now that I'm speaking up, people don't like it. They want to get disrespectful when they try to come at my fucking life. The only reason I ever even talked about all the shit I've done in my military career was because you need to prove yourself to a lot of these motherfuckers. Otherwise, they're just going to keep trying to discredit you as if you've done nothing with your fucking life or your service. So I had to talk about the combat shit that I've done. I've had to post the videos, and I've had to justify why I get to speak the fuck up. But I'll be damned if I'll ever bend the knee and say that a garrisoned motherfucking veteran is the same as a combat veteran. That's not true. And I'm tired of you garrison motherfucking veterans bragging about the percentages that you are getting from the VA as if you fucking did anything. Not even thinking about the combat veteran who's trying every fucking day to get that, and they're watching your videos and you don't give a fuck about their feelings, do you? No, because all veterans are the same. No, the fuck we ain't. And I'll stand on that shit. Anybody has a fucking problem with it, come see me then. Ones that deploy.
And I have my own thoughts of this. Is like, I understand that some people sacrifice more than others. That is always going to be the case. Someone's life is always going to be harder than others. And it's part of our reality and our responsibility to realize you grew up in America. There's more privilege here than there is saying you live in India or some country that's underdeveloped, right? Like, I don't think every day as like I should just be grateful for everything. That doesn't mean I don't have a right to be upset about things. The systems are the systems. Like, you can hate the player or hate the game. The game is what you should be hating, is how this is. But the people that are utilizing the services, and rightfully so, advocating for themselves, doing what they have to do to get their 100% or whatever disability, should not be shamed for this. They did what they were supposed to. And I think this is a dangerous, slippery slope. And some people in the comments even think that as well. Where Matt says a veteran is a veteran. We go where we're told and do what's ordered. Any veteran. And someone below that, Tony Peters, says life's not fair. And I just want to say this out of total clarity of everything. Like, I do agree there is some distinction, but to create divide between veterans even further of, oh, I was here, I was there, this nuance, all of this. We've seen this with the bro vet space. It's already happening where people feel like they have to tell their entire life story to try and get something out of it, to feel more validation or whatever. And I'm like, dude, this is a hard part. I look at World War II, Vietnam, Korean vets, all these people. I'm like, we can't go down this road. This is a very dangerous road. This is dangerous mentality, not just for you as an individual. I think a veteran, if they hear you deployed and you actually did this stuff, I'm like, dude, respect. Even me, I'm like, respect. Like, I'm not saying I'm better than you, and I'm not saying you're better than me, but damn, I appreciate the lessons you learned. I appreciate them. At the same token, I'm not going to say like, I don't deserve benefits, I'm going to make myself lower or less than. I also look at it where, like, we all came here, we all signed up, we all did this. It's not fair. I know that. But these are human systems that can be exploited.
I do hope that the Secretary of War comes down and says, you know what, we need to start making a distinction between the veterans who've never done shit for this country and the war veterans. There is a fucking big difference, y'all, between combat veterans and your plain old garrison veteran that's never done shit but acts like he's fucking done everything. And yeah, I'm talking to you. If your feelings are fucking hurt and you've never deployed, yo, I'm talking to you. You are not what I consider an actual fucking veteran. I don't care if you unfollow me. I don't care if you're mad and you want to block me. I don't give a fuck. I'm a combat veteran, bitch. There's levels to this shit. I know I hurt your fucking feelings, and that's what this is meant to do. It's meant to make you upset. This is meant to come at you because, yo, you have never done shit, but you'll walk around the VA and act like you deserve all the same accolades, the same treatment that I get, the same treatment that my brothers get. No, motherfucker, you don't. And I'll tell you to your fucking face, I do not care. If you've never fucking deployed, you've never given your all to this country, you ain't no fucking veteran in my eyes.
Now, I always tell people, when you join, no one is going to pay you for your sea stories or your deployment stories, unless you write a book or a podcast and you want to capitalize that way. Nobody is going to give you pennies or dollars to do that. And the sooner we learn that it is a thankless service. There are a lot of them that are out there that you could see every day that you don't think about. Even the garbage man that's out there, right? Like the person that's grinding away to do that to feed their family. There are different sacrifices. And I think it's a dangerous road to sit here and be like, well, I've had it worse, and we're having like some kind of suffer competition in order to make that relevant. I think this wisdom and guidance that you have should be used as something maybe a little bit more constructive. I think you have a lot of lessons from combat that could be shared. Share those. Share the funny stories. Share that stuff, because to then create this barrier, you're not doing your job as a soldier or even a veteran to share that information for the people that are coming after you. That's the whole job. And I'll tell you, as somebody that's not been in your position, I learned from a lot of people that were in Ramadi and all these other places where I was like, dude, dump it on me, because whatever I can soak up, I want to soak up, because you really can't have somebody simulate that experience, know that experience. It's like you just have to be there, and I get that. So you're asking some people to understand when the reality is they won't. Now, what's crazy is the curveball, and I don't want to bash anybody. He did serve. He did do things, right? But it seems like this chip on his shoulder that you're seeing has landed him in hot water, and that's why he was actually kicked out of the military. I'll let him tell the story here.
Let's go even a step further, something that's beat me up for years that I've never actually talked about. Yeah, I got kicked out of the military. I got court-martialed because I was seeking PTSD. I was seeking a PTSD treatment because I lost a lot of friends when I came back home from Afghanistan. And they wanted me to go to the field after I came back from selection, from pre-ranger school, all this stuff. And I told them, no, I'm trying to see the PTSD doctors. And my leadership told me, we don't give a fuck. we're not authorizing you to go get mental health treatment. You're going to take your fucking ass to the field. And when I told you guys, I told that E6 acting as first sergeant, go fuck yourself. You're a bitch. I'm going to my fucking shit. And I snapped the fuck out. It was because I felt cornered to where they didn't give a fuck about my mental health. A lot of people will say combat MOSs don't document nothing, but don't see the actual effects of when you try to talk about your fucking feelings, we get hammered for it. We're told, grow the fuck up, man up, don't be a bitch about it. And that shit gets to you because you're like, well, fuck, I can't talk about it with nobody. And then you end up snapping out, right? And now everybody's against you and they're all looking at you like you're the fucking bad apple because you're battling something deep inside that you're trying to talk about, but everybody's looking at you like you're just being a bitch. And I wanted a career out of the military. When I got court-martialed, I won. I got an honorable, I fought my case, I stated what happened, I had the medical documents because I was already talking to a PTSD civil doctor, and it backed up everything and everything I had going on at that time. But my leadership was harsh. I was locked in a room. I got Article 15. You know, obviously I fought that field grade. I took it to a court martial. I was on my way in handcuffs to my court martial hearing when the general of the post, Fort Bliss at that time, General Petard, came down with orders to authorize me to get out of military service, had my DD-214 handed to me, and I was expedited out of the fucking gate that same exact day. I don't talk about it often, but I can see how things that I may say can come off very dramatic to other people. But deep down, y'all, like in the garrison world, I've been that soldier that's went to 11 West. I've been that soldier on suicide watch and thinking that my leadership was against me. When you have toxic leadership in the military, it can definitely destroy you inside and do things and make you feel a certain way that, you know, you hold a grudge. So please accept some of the things that I'm trying to come out and talk about so that way maybe others can relate, because I'm truly not a bad person. I know that sometimes I come off very aggressive in the way I talk, but yo, sometimes your brother's just getting beat down, and when I see stuff online, I want people to see sometimes from a different perspective. And I'm not justifying anything I've ever said, you know, as being right or you wrong versus me right or whatever. I'm just saying that, you know, I admit that I've made mistakes. And now I just want people to see me from a different perspective rather than what you're currently seeing me as now.
I feel so like emotionally drained watching a lot of this because I'll tell you, my personal look at this is I'm like, I'm sad that you didn't get the help you need. I am. I also know if you watch his other videos, he talks about being from a broken home, issues with his mom, other stuff like that, where I'm like, dude, you were starting from a really bad place, how to handle emotions, how to, you know, conduct yourself with other people, where the military does a decent job at trying to get people to learn your place, file, rank, order, how to talk to people, stuff like that. And it's tough. It is. But while you were not given that space to deal with that, and I don't know if you've done this already, but you have the resources and tools now to do it. You have the time to do it with the VA. You have time to work on this. And I just hope watching these videos of you that this is not where you let your life end up and you say, this is my story. And, you know, I said in the beginning of this video, his personality is veteran, right? Or military or whatever. And I'm like, I love that. It gave you so much, but now it's time for you to focus on you and just go forward, man. Like, take every lesson you've had, because I'll tell you what, man, a lot of people got sad stories, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to listen to them. And I'm one of those people that too has a sad story, grew up in a trailer park, all these other things. Like, I get it. To a degree, I get it. But I'm saying, like, unfortunately, I had to work through that shit, dude. And it's not to say no one cares. It's to say I care about it, I digest it, and I move forward. And I realize that I have more to offer than just being this person. I hope you're working on it, man. I really do. But let me know what you guys think about this division between veterans and kind of like this combat veteran, not veteran. I know I have a lot of people that served during Iraq and Afghanistan and stuff like that watch these videos. So I'd love to hear your perspective as well on this person's situation, but I'll leave it there.